So my name is Stephen Smith. I work with Atkins & Associates. We have an office in Cary, Schaumburg, Willowbrook, Deerfield. I hear a lot of opinions about Social Security, such as, I'm going to take it at 62 or 66 or 70. And what you're going to find out tonight is taking Social Security isn't based on an opinion. It's based on solving the biggest fear people have in retirement, which is what? Running out of money. Exactly right. So how do we generate that income? If you're married, what does that strategy look like? If you're divorced, if you're single, right? Different for everybody. There isn't a right or a wrong. Now, my background, I went to Marquette University. I have a degree in electrical computer engineering. And I get asked all the time, why are you teaching a class on Social Security? Well, what you're going to find out tonight is it takes an engineer to figure out Social Security. It's not as straightforward as one may think. Pressure off of your assets, or do you delay Social Security, which puts a little bit more pressure on your assets up front? Now, do you think a market correction like occurred in 2008 can affect when you take Social Security? It absolutely can, depending upon how much income you need, right, and the lifestyle you want to live. So all of these things need to be considered as it relates to building out a Social Security plan. So we have to manage the risks that have been created by longevity. We're all living longer in this country, okay? Inflation. Now, I know we haven't seen inflation recently, but what is the fear? All right. So, look at when the filing decision happens in this country. Look at how many people take Social Security prior to full retirement age. Now, how many of you have read your Social Security statements? Is there any advice on there? Maximization versus optimization. You're here tonight to learn about optimizing it. But obviously, we always want to maximize it. But we can't control maximizing Social Security because we don't know how long any of you are going to live. And any piece of software we use to maximize Social Security, if we put a life expectancy of age 90, they're going to tell you to wait to age 70. That doesn't help any of you build your retirement. And that's called a Monte Carlo simulation. Somebody here, give me an example of some unknowns you may have to plan for in retirement. Anybody? Healthcare, sickness, right? That's a big one. What's another one? What's that? Home repairs, unforeseen expenses. What's another one?
Automobile.
Oh, that's another unforeseen, absolutely. What about market risk? What about taxes? What about inflation? What about longevity risk? Right? What if one spouse passes away? Income taxes are historically very, very low today. Okay? Can somebody tell me what's the highest tax bracket we've ever seen in this country? 94%. Wow, that was very good. Well done. Can somebody tell me why Ronald Reagan only produced 2 movies a year in 1944? Living in the state of California, right? Because if he went over 2 movies a year, he'd hit the 94% tax bracket plus the 6% California state, and he wouldn't make any money. So he stopped, okay? In the 1970s, we had a top tax bracket of 70% to the highest earners, okay? In 2012, it was reduced to 35% under the George Bush tax cuts. 2013, 39.6. 2014, they added the 3.8% net investment income tax. That is a 59% average tax rate overall. Do you think there's room to go up? Tax deferred, the IRAs and the 401ks your whole life. You've done everything right. But what you have to remember is you made a deal with the government. Pay me now or pay me later. And guess what? You're almost at later. All of that money that you've deferred is now going to be 100% taxable at the income rate you're in. Now, the theory behind deferring the taxes is that you will be in a lower tax bracket later. That may not be true anymore. We are in extremely low tax brackets today. So where am I going with this? Well, what did the 1997 Taxpayer Relief Act give us? By the way, it was only the best financial vehicle ever invented